The government has called for a special session of Parliament to be held from the 18th to the 22nd of September. This was announced by Union Minister Pralhad Joshi. He posted it on X, adding that there will be 5 sittings. He also said that amid Amrit Kal, looking forward to having a fruitful discussion and debate in Parliament. But the announcement on a day the opposition parties are meeting in Mumbai has sparked speculation over what bills may be brought in for passage. Vasudha reports on how there is no clarity so far.
The centre has convened a special session of the Parliament for 5 days from September 18 to September 22. There is no official word on the agenda of the session yet, but it is interesting because it will be held just days after the much-awaited G20 Leaders Summit. The special session of the Parliament will be held a day after the Vishwakarma Yojana, the government scheme for a mega outreach to OBC communities, will be formally launched on September 17th. That also happens to be the Prime Minister's birthday. Now, what is a special session of the Parliament? There are 3 parliamentary sessions held in a year: budget, monsoon and winter sessions. A special session of the Parliament is dedicated to considering a specific bill or looking at an issue of public importance. In 2017, a special midnight session was convened for the passage of the GST, but that was a joint sitting of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. A special 6-day session was convened in 1997 to commemorate India's 50th year of independence. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Pralhad Joshi has said that this special session will have 5 sittings, and in the middle of Amrit Kal, the government is looking forward to having fruitful discussions. Remember, this is also the year that marks the end of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which is India's 75 years of freedom. Of course, some clarity on the agenda of the special session is expected next week. There is also socio-political context this time to the special session of the Parliament, as this is an election year, and the BJP at the centre is working towards fulfilling many of its promises made to see another term. Social engineering efforts are being made, and there is also talk about making elections tighter and not prolonged. On the last day of the session, monsoon session, 2 important bills, one that does away with the IPC and CRPC and brings in a new framework, and another one that makes fundamental changes in the way election commissioners are appointed, were introduced. There is also a lot of talk about the Uniform Civil Code, but government sources have made it clear that this bill will be brought in only after wide consultations. From the point of view of governance and political moves, this is high action time for political parties, particularly the BJP, which gives credence to the speculation that the special session of the Parliament this time could also see the introduction of key bills.
So a lot of speculation over what those key bills could be. Here's what opposition leader Priyanka Chaturvedi had to say regarding this special session and some of the speculation surrounding it.
मैडम, जिस तरह की खबर सामने निकल कर आ रही है कि एक स्पेशल सेशन जो है वो केंद्र सरकार बुला रही है, आपने भी उस पर ट्वीट किया है, क्या लगता है कि पैनिक में है सरकार?
बिल्कुल, जब देखते हैं जब किसी की मौत सामने आने को, मैं मौत इसलिए नहीं कह रही हूँ कि कुछ गलत तरीके से, यानी जो डाइंग मोमेंट्स होते हैं, सरकार खत्म होने पे आ रही होती है और उनको यकीन हो गया है कि अब वो वापस नहीं आ रहे हैं, तो ये अपने मनमानी काम करती है, तो ये वो छटपटाहट है, ये वो घबराहट है।
क्या आपको ऐसी कोई जानकारी कि 1 नेशन 1 इलेक्शन टाइप का कुछ ये करने की तैयारी में?
अगर इस तरीके की तैयारी करते हैं तो मैं आपको एक चीज से विश्वास से बोल सकती हूँ, ये सिर्फ हम लोग विपक्षी दल नहीं उसका विरोध करेंगे, देश हित में सोचने वाले सभी जनता भी इसका विरोध करेगी, क्योंकि मैं बताती हूँ, क्या उन्होंने इलेक्शन कमीशन से कोई राय मशवरा किया है? क्या उन्होंने सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस से राय मशवरा किया है? क्या उन्होंने स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से मशवरा किया है? आप किस आधार पे ये निर्णय ले सकते हैं और बुला सकते हैं?
Well, leaders of the opposition's India Alliance have gathered in Mumbai for a 2-day meeting, and today was an informal meet followed by a dinner hosted by Uddhav Thackeray. Tomorrow, the leaders will get down to business, so several issues on the agenda, from deciding the logo, common minimum program, a coordination committee, but even a convener. There has been a buzz around that, but no one is confirming anything. So far, leaders have said they've come together to save the constitution and democracy in the country and take on the BJP. Let's go across to Sohit, who spent his day there at the Hyatt where this meeting is taking place. And so tell us about the meeting today. Today was more informal, and tomorrow is when they really get down to business.
Absolutely, Gargi. In fact, as we speak, the dinner is being hosted as of now by the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray. This is the building behind me where the entire meeting is happening, where all the opposition leaders are currently present, and the security is also present in huge numbers over here. And yes, while it is a very informal meeting which is going on, or the dinner which is going on, the visuals we have, the way they are sitting, it doesn't seem to be that informal as of now. So yes, a lot of things being discussed today and many more things on the agenda for tomorrow as well. Things like seat sharing, what will be the issues, how to take it forward, what will be the logo of India, that will be revealed as well. So in the first meeting which happened in Patna, they tried to do the ice breaking between these parties. In the second meeting which happened in Bengaluru, the name India, the tagline for the alliance was released. India was the acronym which came forward, and now they want to move ahead. A lot of campaign is also being planned today as well. So very important to see what exactly do they come up with. And now, since the numbers have been rising, earlier it was 17, then 26, then 28. In total 63 members are present inside who are attending this meeting which is happening right now. So what would be the next step that will be taking, what they would be taking? Will they also keep a convener who would then ensure what happens next? These are the questions which are being asked. And tomorrow, after the meet which begins at 10 a.m. and goes up to 2 p.m, there is a press conference that has been kept at 4 p.m. where we are expecting that there will be some clarity given. As of now, all the top leaders are inside from all the parties which are part of the alliance, and they are having an informal discussion over dinner which is being hosted currently by Uddhav Thackeray.
All right, Sohail, thanks so much for joining us. With that, now this is the third meeting of the opposition alliance. At the second meeting, there are 26 parties. It's now 28, so 2 more parties joining in. But in UP, matters a little complicated. BSP leader Mayawati has made it clear that she's neither going with India nor with the NDA. But what is Mayawati's own game plan? Our colleague Saurabh Shukla reports.
The third India alliance meeting, but still no sign of Mayawati, whose party has 10 MPs in the Lok Sabha from Uttar Pradesh. Key India alliance leader Sharad Pawar claims Mayawati is more inclined towards the BJP.
मायावती जी नक्की कोणाच्यावर एकत्रित जाण्याची भूमिका घेणार आहेत. आम्हाला असं दिसतंय की काही वेळेला भारतीय जनता पार्टीशी सुद्धा त्यांनी सुसंवाद ठेवलेला आहे.
But Mayawati hit back, posting on social media site X, formerly Twitter, that both the BJP and the opposition alliance are anti-poor and anti-backward.
हमारे बगैर 80 किसी की नहीं आ सकती. हम 13.5% लेके खड़े हैं. अगर इधर हो गए तो 80 आपकी होगी, और गठबंधन में दूसरी तरफ पहुंच गए तो 60 से ज्यादा गठबंधन की हो गई. लेकिन कुमारी बहन मायावती जी साफ कर चुकी हैं, वो अकेले लड़ेंगी.
Mayawati recently repeated her go it alone on 2024 stand. The BSP chief had joined hands with her arch rival, Samajwadi Party's Akhilesh Yadav, in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, winning 10 of the 80 Lok Sabha seats in UP, while the SP won only 5. Right after the results, Mayawati broke her ties with Akhilesh Yadav. Mayawati fought the 2022 assembly elections alone and lost badly. She got only 1 seat out of the 403 in the UP assembly.
पिछले दिनों कई बड़े फैसले ऐसे किए मायावती ने जो भाजपा के पक्ष में थे, मोदी सरकार के पक्ष में थे, तो उनका वोट बैंक सिकुड़ता जा रहा है. और ये धारणा कि वो बीजेपी की बी टीम में मायावती को बहुत नुकसान पहुंचा रही है. और मुझे लगता है कि अगर मायावती अकेले लड़ने का फैसला लेती हैं तो ये उनके राजनीतिक जीवन की सबसे बड़ी भूल साबित होने वाली है. अब देखना ही होगा कि मायावती क्या-क्या रणनीति अपनाती हैं.
Even though Mayawati has been speaking against the Congress, UP Congress sources say the top leadership of the party has sent messages to Mayawati in UP several times for an alliance.
अब देखिए, ये तो राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व बता पाएगा. मेरी जानकारी में ऐसी बात नहीं है. मेरा बस यही आग्रह होगा बहन मायावती जी से, बाकी लोगों से, कि वो सभी लोग जो समाज की स्थितियां उसको देखते हुए वो आना चाहिए इंडिया गठबंधन में, और बाकी चीजें राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व से बात चल रही होगी तो उससे मुझे जानकारी.
Currently, Mayawati is going to contest alone in the upcoming assembly elections of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh.
In other news now, the Supreme Court, the centre told the Supreme Court today that elections could be conducted in Jammu and Kashmir any time now, but that the decision lies with the Election Commission and the State Poll Panel. Reiterating that the Union Territory status for Jammu and Kashmir is temporary, the central government said it cannot, however, give the exact time period when Jammu and Kashmir's statehood can be restored. The Constitution Bench is hearing petitions challenging changes to Article 370. Let's go across to Arvind now for more. So, Arvind, and that is the reply the centre gave to the Supreme Court. Give us more details and what next?
Gargi, during the hearing of pleas challenging Article 370 abrogation in Supreme Court, today Centre told the Supreme Court that the government is ready to hold elections in Jammu and Kashmir any time now, and Centre also told Supreme Court that the updating the voter list process is almost over, and then it's up to the Election Commission to conduct elections, whereas the Centre is ready to hold elections any time now. Also, very importantly, on the second question regarding the restoration of statehood, for which Centre told the Supreme Court that though the Home Minister has already stated on the floor of the House in both the houses in Parliament that the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir is a temporary status, and then the statehood will have to be restored. But in this particular case, Centre could not give a time frame within which the statehood could be restored in Jammu and Kashmir, though Centre said that the process is underway and it's progressing, but the Centre couldn't give a time frame on which the statehood will be restored in Jammu and Kashmir. But when it comes to Ladakh, Centre has clearly told the Supreme Court that Ladakh will continue to remain as a union territory, but the statehood will be restored in Jammu and Kashmir. But the Centre couldn't give a time frame. But when it comes to elections, the Centre has told that they are ready, but the ball is with the Election Commission, and the Election Commission will have to announce the elections in Jammu and Kashmir.
All right, putting the onus on the Election Commission, and that hearing will continue. Thanks so much, Arvind, for joining us there. And staying with this news of the hearing, there was a heated argument between the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta and Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal. Sibal strongly opposed the government's argument that there were zero organized bands in Jammu and Kashmir since 2018.
Most were stone pelting incidents and regular call of band or hartals, means hospitals, schools, every institution where a common man is concerned. From 2018, in 2018, the stone pelting was 1767. It is nil now. Not just because of effective policing or security personnel, but because of various steps, like gainfully employing the youth, etc. They were misled by the secessionist forces, by the forces outside the country, etc. And organized bands, which were in 2852 instances, organized band, call of band by secessionist forces. Nil.
How many?
In 18, they were 52. Now, it is nil.
They are trying to show as to how this enormous change has taken place for the benefit of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. If you have 5,000 people under house arrest and 144 throughout the state, there can be no band. So let's not, my request to your lordships is, please don't enter into this arena, because we will have to counter it with all kinds of facts, which I don't think is necessary for this court.
What the solicitor was saying is that the roadmap to full statehood would take a little time.
That's obvious.
Right now, that they are his submission is that right now development work is taking place. Some stability has to be brought about. This is not a permanent arrangement, namely the UT status. They envisage that it will be a movement from UT to statehood again. We can't give you a fixed point of time when we will restore statehood, but they have told us the process which they are following.
And staying with news of the top court, clearly no person or institution is too big for scamsters in the country. Now the name of the Supreme Court is also being misused to steal people's personal details and confidential data. The Registry of the Supreme Court has issued an advisory warning people about this. The registry said it's been made aware of a phishing attack in which a fake website impersonating the official Supreme Court website is asking people for their details like internet banking, credit and debit card information. The registry said the Supreme Court of India has flagged this to law enforcement agencies so they can take adequate action. India's gross domestic product has seen a growth to 7.8% during the initial quarter of the fiscal year 2023-2024. So for the first quarter, the growth of 7.8% has surpassed the previous quarter's increase of 6.1% and is in line with what was being forecast. So GDP they're seeing increase to 7.8%. In the last year, the same quarter, it was 13.1%. However, India remains the fastest growing major economy. Well, let's go across to Sunil now for more. And Sunil, so good news and in line with the forecast.
Absolutely, as expected and as predicted, the rate at 7.8 is a silver lining. Of course, as market people have been pointing out, it's expected to taper down, and it's in that context we'll have to wait and watch and see how things proceed. At this present juncture, the focus continues to be on the services sector, which has done very well, but definitely for the finance ministry as well as for other policy advisors, the key issue will remain that you'll need to ensure the agricultural growth as well as manufacturing during these present times, and of course something which GDP does not reflect and which is going to be a cause of concern, that is inflation, which is really something that is affecting the common man, apart from unemployment and a host of other issues, especially in an election going year.
All right, Sunil, thanks so much for joining us with those details. International news now. In a fire that engulfed a 5-story building killed more than 70 people, including children, in central Johannesburg. Another 50 were injured and some suffering from smoke inhalation were taken for treatment at local hospitals. Here's a report.
This building engulfed in flames used to offer shelter to the homeless of Johannesburg, the biggest city in South Africa. In the early hours of Thursday morning, a fire ripped through the rundown 5-story building, killing at least 70 people and leaving dozens injured. Johannesburg officials blamed the informal nature of settlement inside the building for so many getting trapped.
What we need to highlight to our viewers at home is that they must just have a picture of an informal settlement inside the building. So therefore, the chances of one being trapped inside that building they are very much higher because of the partitions and all these things which they are using to create those structures. Hence, you find out that there's a lot. Hence, we want to make sure that we are sure that there's no any other bodies which are still trapped in that area.
Authorities say it's unclear what sparked the blaze. Reports suggest the occupants of the building were mostly African migrants. 7 of the victims were children and the youngest was a 1-year-old. As many as 200 people have been living in the building and the death toll is expected to rise. NDTV Bureau Report.
Now, news on the G20, and in their quest to make the mega G20 summit an unqualified success, authorities in Delhi are taking a series of steps from decking up the national capital with nearly 7 lakh ornamental plants to painting underpasses, bridges, pillars to high security. Take a look.
Over 1,000 special commandos spread across the capital, chopper landing drills on hotel tops and paramilitary preps at key locations. The national capital has turned into a fortress for the big G20 finale that will see more than 15 heads of state in Delhi in the largest and grandest G20 summit ever. As we travel through the decked up lanes of Delhi, with final touches now being given, a glimpse into the mega makeover ahead of the summit next week.
I come to you from right outside one of the entry gates of the Grand Bharat Mandapam, where the G20 Heads of State Summit will be hosted in just days from now. And here you can see final touches are being given right outside. The G20 banner has been installed here as well. A new fountain as well has been installed, especially for the G20 Heads of State Summit. In fact, there you can see how PWD officials from the national capital also supervising. One important aspect of India's G20 presidency has been to showcase our rich cultural past to the world. You can see all these walls. This is a railway underpass. They've been adorned with paintings of various historical books like the Ramayana and Mahabharata. In fact, not just its cultural past, but also the fact that India has, advanced technological systems in place as well, whether it's dams or tunnels. They've also been showcased here, and a key part of Modi's cultural diplomacy, a key part of foreign policy. Well, right outside Terminal 3 of the Indira Gandhi International Airport, posters and banners have been put up. This is the approach road to Terminal 3. Of course, heads of state will be traversing this road to reach the Lalit, the Taj and the venue of the G20 Heads of State Summit as well. An important focus has also been rebuilding of roads, approach roads particularly. This has been done at a staggering cost of lakhs of crores of rupees in the past couple of months. In fact, there you can see workers are constantly working in the heat.
Very, very happy to say that 98% work has been completed. More than 100 fountains have been set up.
Okay.
Around 70-75 artifacts have been set up, and the roads have been repaired, footpaths have been repaired, green patches have been developed, and more than 6 lakh spots have been put up, both side the roads, to give a festive look. And you can see this. Now we are going to, adorn the trees in this fashion, these trees in this fashion also, so that when the guest arrives in Delhi, they should get a feel that Delhi is the most beautiful city in the world.
Delhi is the most beautiful city.
At the Taj Palace and the Lalit in Delhi, grand presidential suites getting ready to host top world leaders. Special chefs have been brought in to put together a lavish spread.
पिछले 6 महीने से हम जो तैयारी कर रहे थे कि मिलेट का तड़का हम अपने विदेशी मेहमानों को कैसे परोसेंगे, तो उसी के ध्यान में रखते हुए मैंने कुछ डिशेस बनाई हैं जो कि पूरा का पूरा मिलेट रिलेटेड है। आप ये देखिए, यहाँ पे एक फ्रूट सलाद है जिसमें कि मैंने पूरा मिक्स का मिलेट का तड़का यहाँ पे दिया है। आप उधर वहाँ पे जैपनीज है मेरे पास जो कि शिराय सैलेड है, उसमें पूरा मिलेट ड्रेसिंग बनाया है मैंने, जो यूरोप में एक काफ़ी फेमस डिश है जिसका नाम लजानिया है, उसमें भी मैंने एक मिलेट का तड़का लगा के दिया है।
20,000 delegates from 19 member states, special invitees, over 40 heads of delegations. The largest ever G20 will be held at the Grand Bharat Mandapam in the heart of the national capital. This is India's big global moment as the leader of the G20 and the voice of the global south. In New Delhi with camera person Kanan Patra, Vedant for NDTV.
In other news, Viacom 18 acquired the digital and TV media rights for India's home bilateral games for the period between 2023 to 2027. This was decided in an e-auction today conducted by the BCCI. Let's go across to Osama for more. And Osama, tell us more about this auction. It was hard fought.
It was hard fought. This is indeed a big shift in how India is going to watch cricket from now on. Because from the monopoly of the Disney Star at one point to that of Viacom 18 now, who have landed the TV and digital rights for India's home matches in the 2023 till the 2028 cycle. Let's give you a breakdown of how much Viacom 18 had to shell out. The digital rights have been sold for approximately rupees 3,100 crore, whereas the price for the television rights is approximately rupees 2,860 crore. Which means that Viacom 18 will be spending a total of rupees 5,960 crore, which comes to about rupees 67.7 crore per game. This figure is about rupees 7.5 crore higher than the price of the last cycle's value, and the overall value exceeds the rupees 60 crore, which was the starting price for the bidding process. So both Sports 18 and Jio Cinemas will be broadcasting 88 games over the next 5 years, starting with the India versus Australia series, which starts right after the Asia Cup. This contract will conclude in March 2028. Now, who are Viacom's 18's competitors? At the e-auction, Viacom 18 were up against 2 competitors, Disney Star and Sony. Remember, Disney Star has held the rights for the previous cycle. Viacom 18 bid the highest in both the categories, that is the digital as well as television. In the digital category, Viacom bid rupees 3,101 crore and it bid rupees 2,862 crore for television rights. What is also interesting is that the digital media rights for IPL, which is the biggest brand for BCCI, is also with Viacom, along with both digital and the TV rights for the Women's Premier League. Now, BCCI Secretary Jai Shah, he tweeted and congratulated the Viacom 18 group for getting the rights, and he also went on to thank Disney Star for their participation for the last 5 years. But the big outcome from this is the fact that BCCI is showing more faith in the growing digital space hoping to reap the rewards for the same in the next 5-year cycle.